Hello, it's Tim with TAH Farm, and we're continuing part 2 of repairing the air conditioning on this 1086. What we've done so far, if you missed part 1, pulled the evaporator out and we flushed the outside real good, cleaned all the dirt, mud, crime, everything else off the outside with a product called Foam Bright. And the inside we flushed with a refrigerant flush called RX11. Same thing we did here on the evaporator, but those things are ready to go back in. The only thing that's getting reused are the condenser, evaporator, this short piece of pipe, the low pressure, high pressure switch, and this compressor right here. Everything else is being replaced. Got a new TXV. That's called a thermal expansion valve. That's right here. This connector's here. We are waiting on O-rings for this. But yeah, everything else is here. New hoses. Here's some right here that go up down into here, and then there's several here on the floor. And then we got a new filter dryer. So we're going to be installing all that stuff here. But first thing we're going to be doing, we're going to finish up here. We're going to clean the top of this out real good yet, and then we'll tear into this compressor and see what we got there. But that's what we're getting started in here today. All right, this is just regular foam AC air conditioning tape. Yeah, we used it all the time when I did AC work, but it's sticky one side and not the other, and you just wrap it around this part of this so it stays insulated. And then this is this insulation tube I bought, slid up over this suction line. But I got the line down below hooked up. It's kind of hard to see under there. There's the TXV. Here's your low pressure switch is hooked up. High pressure switch is down by the bottom. This is an equalization line, part of the TXV. Everything's tight. All the O-rings are in. And TXV, the way it works is it senses how cold this line is, and it opens up and closes to allow refrigerant into the coil, kind of as a metering device, so that the coil doesn't get too flooded but yet still has refrigerant in there to boil off. Because you get your cooling from the liquid when it changes state to a vapor. That's where you get your cooling with refrigerant. So you want that to be somewhere in the middle of this coil, which is what the TXV does. So when you charge it, it's a little different than the old way with just a plain metering device. But anyway, this is all hooked up. I do have to pull the interior down. I'll show you that here in a second. We got to pull this interior down and then run this vinyl tubing up across, and then it'll connect to this drain. It's hard to see down in there, but there's a drain right there, one on each side. Now this one might be a little easier to see. Right there, that little white piece out there. That's a drain, and then it runs down with the refrigerant lines down this post. So, but this is all done back together. We're going to start working down below. We got the air vent taken down. It's 7 screws across this back side here and 6 across the front, tucked up underneath there. But right up there, you can see that drain line cuts right through there, and then it comes around. It comes right down in here, chases right down along with the high pressure and the suction line, and the power cables. They all connect right here. So got it run up here. I don't have it hooked up here yet because we're going to be taking this out. And I got the high pressure hose run through here now. And it's just straightforward running the path that I took it out in. And this goes here to this filter dryer. So pretty straightforward. And then these 2 hoses right here, one goes from the compressor up to the condenser. It just chases through that hole right there to the condenser. And then the condenser to the filter dryer. So we're going to put these together real quick. All right, got this bolted back up in place. It's kind of loose, but it'll be all right. Hoses are back up in where they need to go. Got the high pressure switch, which is right down in there, hooked up. These are the headlights, so we will mess with those after a bit. And the horn is this wire here. That's the horn. We'll clean that up. Horn wires right here. But anyway, here's the hoses, and we will get them all hooked up to the compressor, but we got to pull that off. That's the next thing to do. We'll be right back. Well, that's a good sign. It was under pressure. That should let all that oil drain out. Well, I checked both books. My John Deere book uses this same compressor as this International. It's a York compressor. And it says it wants 12 ounces of refrigerant oil in it. So that's what we're putting in here. And I got this little measuring cup that has a line for 6 ounces. So that's what we're putting in here. So we'll be right back. All right, there's 3 bolts that tighten up and hold this in place. We took those out, took us over to the bench there, and worked on it over there. So, just trying to get it back in place. This one goes in this hole here. Alright, finally got it tightened up, snug it up. There. Alright, this is one of these times I told you every once in a while you'll run into, you'll have to bounce your wrench back and forth. And that's kind of what I'm having to do to get that in there to tighten up. Alright, we're tight. Now, we have all our fittings tight. We're going to pressure up with nitrogen and check for leaks. Alright, here's what you have to do. Got to hook your hoses up to each side. I got special fittings to go on these to go to these refrigerant hose that I had set up for R134A. It used to be written there real well, but it's not anymore. And then these are called king valves. I had these all the way closed so nothing could get into the compressor. So I just backed them out part way because front seat is against the cab and back seat's against this outlet. So I wanted to be in the middle so this nitrogen will go through. So we're going to purge with nitrogen first. So we're going to take this side off. And you can hear it coming out, hopefully. So we're going to open up here. I got 100 pounds on the pressure going to these manifolds. And we're going to open this up. Oops, I'm going backwards. Well, I just heard the pressure switch click. All right, we're bleeding through. We want to get a good nitrogen purge through here. We want to get a good nitrogen purge through there to make sure we got no non-condensables in there, which is all this air atmosphere that's been in these hoses. So we want to get all that nitrogen out of there, or all the non-condensables out of there, and put nitrogen in there only. Then we're going to put it on here. All right, what we're doing is we're going to run this up to a pressure test. I got these open part way. They're king valves, so all the way back closes this port off, all the way forward closes this port off going to the cab. So in between opens the compressor to both sides, and we want to be open to both sides right now. So I got my low side, my high side, and we're going to run this up. We got it set at 180 right now. I got the pressure on it, and we're going to do a pressure test here for about, I don't know, an hour and see how it does. And actually it'll probably be longer than that because we're going to run some errands, but I don't feel or hear or see anything leaking, so that's the goal, no leaks. We just want to make sure we got a good sealed system. Well, 2 hours later, and it hasn't dropped at all. I don't know if you can see that. It's right at 180 still. So we're going to call that good. We're going to let that nitrogen out, and then we're going to get the vacuum pump going, get into the vacuum. So we'll be right back. All right, hopefully get this. The battery's really low. We got down to 1,000 vacuum microns. That's like almost absolute. So I'm hooked up to a can, got it pierced, got this opened up, and we're going to get this going. And there we go, letting the juice flow. Let me get my high pressure hose on this side. We'll be right back. All right, got that hooked up, getting some good pressure on there. Gonna let this can finish emptying out. What I need to do is get the tractor started, but can't do that yet because I got to finish some stuff up there, and we're finishing up running these hoses. So we'll get back to finishing us up here probably tomorrow. But in your time, it's going to be right now. If you've seen the video on the LED light, we just got it done. We're getting back to the air conditioning part here. I got the top on, I got all the new screws in, I put new sealing around here, and I got a piece of that pink foam. We cut that and put that on top there to help seal. And what you hear now is the fan motor running, and we're ready to start this up and just see how we do on this refrigerant and charging it. So we'll be right back. We're ready to start this up, see what happens here. Haven't started this in a while. Got the throttle up, see what we do. All right, to charge, put the fan on high. We'll crank this, and we'll plug the compressor in and see what we got. Well, the compressor's running because it pulled the pressure down, so we got to put some cans in here, so we'll be right back. All right, we're all charged up, got the caps on and everything. No, it was hard to hear while we were doing it. We put 4 cans in, got 4 empty cans, R134A. The 5th one, the bubbles finally disappeared on that sight glass that's behind here. Hopefully you can see those little bubbles bouncing around in there, but this is what it looked like while we were charging it and putting them cans in. It's just hard to hear with the tractor running, but anyway, it's done. It's cold in there now, so that's good. I did have a problem with it leaking in the cab. What I found was the plastic tubing I put in, it was kinking up there in the top. So what we did, I ran off the drain with the old corrugated line down to about right in here's where it ended, and then I picked up a little adapter and ran it down here to this 1/2 inch poly line. But that other corrugated line, it's not split like the normal stuff you see. It's solid, but it makes those corners real nice. And I had to stuff a rag in there to hold it down so it runs down, doesn't try to run uphill there. So, but it works, drains good. This floor was sopping wet when we got done pulling all the moisture out of the air, condensing. So, but hey, hope you like what we're doing. We've been doing a lot of work on the 1086. But if you don't like Red International, that's okay. Here at TAH Farm, we've got orange, we've got green. And we even got blue over there. So we've got it all here. A lot of old equipment we're working on. So hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.